Hey everybody, taking a quick look at the S&P 500 as we get ready to trade Friday and the jobs report, aka the non-farm payrolls number, or hashtag NFP as I always write it in on Twitter. Okay, so here is our week so far. Monday we opened all the way up at 31.44 after the after ES traded 31.58, a new all-time high in the pre-market or overnight, and then we gapped down open from there 14 points to start off at 31.44 and sold off the first 2 days of the week all the way down to 30.70. We snapped back and closed just off of the high of the day on Tuesday, gapped up open on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we doubled up on the day once we took back the 20-day simple moving average, but we fell short at the 10-day. Today we came in on another gap up open, took a little look over yesterday's high, fell short once again at the 10-day, and sold off. And once we broke the 20-day, we doubled down the day from there. But we held a little higher low and reversed and held open the gap. And at the end of the day, we came back to close nearly above this 31.1744. That's the open from here over on when we opened Thanksgiving week and had this massive 3-day rally that led us into the all-time high. And when we look at the weekly time frame, we see that, okay, so here's last week's open at 31.17, but the week before that, we had a lot of grinding going on at this 31.17 level, and the week before that as well, we looked above that and closed the week at 31.20. Here, so this level is sort of turning out that is going to become some kind of support when we look back on it later. Kind of like how 30.28 became a very important pivot for us here back last summer, and then finally when we broke out over it in October. Okay, so that's the weekly time frame. One thing I want to tell you is that if we can get some kind of gap up and go tomorrow morning, and I'll explain to you the levels in more detail when we go back to the roadmap. But while I have you here on the weekly time frame, one thing that could get us to 31.58 and beyond tomorrow would be if we gapped up open and we got ourselves back towards Monday's high. That would turn this candle green and it would engulf the previous week. A whole new set of buyers would probably step into the market there at 31.40 back up to the high that had been made in ES. So let me show you how that works when we look at the daily time frame. That will require us coming in and at minimum opening above the 10-day simple moving average, but better still if we open tomorrow above 31.28. Right now I'm seeing that futures are trading up to a high at like 31.22 or 23, so we're already achieving with the overnight high on ES. We're already achieving the takeout of the 10-day simple moving average from the S&P. So if we just opened a little bit higher, if we got a good reaction in the non-farm payrolls number, and we open above 31.28 tomorrow, we'll be more than halfway into Monday's range, because Monday's halfway back is 31, important on the way up to begin with. So if we gap up open above that, our statistics show that we will be closer to the high of the day on Monday, so we would gravitate right to there. And if we can get to 31.44 early enough in the session, that could bring in a whole new set of buyers, and we could have a really ripping Friday, a real face ripper, just a complete reversal of what we saw here on Monday. Okay, so that's how it would work out. The 10-day simple moving average and then 31.28, so that we're more than halfway through Monday's range. That could get us right to 31.44, and above 31.44, that's what gets us engulfing on the weekly. If we come in weak instead tomorrow, a weak open is going to entail an open below the 20-day simple moving average and below where we had closed here on Wednesday. Okay, so we gap down open below the 20-day, and we could have a very little wimpy sell-off where we still might have the possibility of getting ourselves back up here towards 31.44. But I think that if we come in, we gap down open below the 20-day, and we break into this gap, then we're going to be back to this same thing that we've just been going through, where we're going to be battling to try and get up here and get our head up above this 31.17 level and continue to build pressure on that level as a pivot. Okay, so that would be a gap down open below the 20-day and either reverse here above the gap or get in here and maybe reverse, before not even quite filling this gap. And then we're just in this same range here to end the week. If we come in super weak, break the 20-day, get into this gap, break down through this gap, then obviously we go in a lot deeper pullback, and we go and we test these lows that we made earlier in the week on Tuesday. Okay? All right, that's it. Have a good rest of your evening. Just didn't feel like writing a note, so I hope this gave you the information you needed. I'll put some levels down. I'll write these levels down and post them along with this video, so they have a list of levels to look at as well. Okay? Have a good rest of your evening. See you in the morning.